How's it going, everybody? How the hell are you? I'm the nerdy jock Nick Angle, and welcome back to Nerd Talk. Let's get into E3, baby. All right, guys, so E3 has wrapped up last weekend, and I want to talk about it. I wanted to do some reaction videos with some of their content and all the things that came out. Unfortunately, with my equipment, it just wasn't working, but that's okay. We'll talk about it now, and I'll just throw pictures up on the screen over here somewhere. You'll see it. All right, guys. So the consensus is from E3 that obviously Xbox and Bethesda had the big showcase, right? That was the big one we were all waiting for. The fact is they finally partnered up. Well, Xbox bought them and they launched some great looking games. I want to talk about a couple of them. But you know what? Some other guys threw some really cool games in there as well. So I also want to get your take on what you guys thought about E3. And also, too, do you think sometimes there is overhype for a lot of games that are coming out? Because sometimes we see the games, we get really intrigued, especially with the gameplay. And then the game comes out and you're just like, oh, it happens. I've seen it, but I want to hear your take on it as well. All right, guys, the first game I want to talk about is Avatar: Frontier of Pandora. Yes, Avatar has a new game coming out, and with that release, we also know that there are going to be some movies coming out as well. I think it's 2022, 2024, and 2026, and then 2028. There's a bunch of them. I can't even keep track at this point. However, the game, let's get into it. The game, I don't know what to think. I mean, I saw the gameplay. I thought it was intriguing, but I still remember playing the first game that came out, and I was not really having it. This game, however, does look a little bit better. It does obviously look more updated with its graphics because it is, but I have a really hard time with video games that are based off of the movies. I also have a hard time with movies that are based off of video games. That's just me. I just find a lot of times story gets lost. It just feels like a marketing tool that they're just trying to pump out there. I think this is a wait and see. I mean, even the consensus with people watching, there wasn't too much hype on it. People were a little bit cold. Understandable because of what happened with the first game. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, the next game that was launched, Back 4 Blood. Now, I am a huge fan of Left 4 Dead and that whole series. I just had a lot of fun with it. I like zombies. I like zombie video games. And I used to play this with my friends a bunch, especially when I was living with my buddies. We used to play Left 4 Dead. I love that series. So now, Back 4 Blood, I think this is, another nod to that, continuation of that story. I really think it's actually kind of cool. Obviously, you can go back and you can play as a zombie against players that are playing as the humans. I think that's really cool. Again, a lot of these games are just like, they're just kind of silly, just fun games. Just have a good time hanging out with your friends. I feel like in this pandemic, we've learned that a little bit more, that sometimes it's just fun to just get a couple people together and play a game. But on that note, you guys let me know what you think about Back 4 Blood in the comments below. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of that whole series coming in, so I'm definitely going to give it a shot, but you guys let me know. All right, guys, this is probably the second I have on my tiers of games that I was most intrigued of, and that is Breath of the Wild 2. I know that's not the title of it. It will have a new title, but that's just what they brought into it. They released the gameplay. I mean, I don't have a Nintendo, and I haven't even played Breath of the Wild, but it is such a gorgeous looking game. I've watched some people play it online. This game is just, and if you're a fan of Zelda and the whole series, I mean, you got to be pumped for this. I thought it looked great. It kind of makes me want to buy a Nintendo to play this thing. I know somebody who has a Nintendo, so I'm hoping to get our shots finished so I can go over there and try it out. It just looks gorgeous. You can't say enough about it. I think this was the big one for Nintendo coming out this year. I mean, they also do the Mario Party and a bunch of throwbacks with that, but this game looks absolutely gorgeous. I think it's going to be great. The gameplay looks amazing. I'm actually super pumped for it. I know some people were I think at a 7 or an 8. I am at 11. It just looks terrific. You guys let me know what you think about this game in the comments below. Are you fans of the Zelda series? Are you fans of the Breath of the Wild? What do you think? Let me know. Are you pumped? Yay or nay in the comments below. All right, this game here, I'm going to plead ignorance on it. I didn't know a lot about it going in, and so sorry if I'm finding all this stuff out now, but Elden Ring, I mean, the gameplay, obviously Bloodborne, that kind of stuff looks very, on board with that, but George R.R. Martin actually helped write this and write the world and the story and the lore. I mean, the guy that wrote Game of Thrones has basically done it for a video game. I mean, count me in. Over here, coach. Man, I will absolutely just want to play this game just for the story alone, just to kind of see how it goes. The gameplay itself, I mean, looked really cool. I started to read into it more. It's really gotten me intrigued on this game and the lore behind it and why you are who you are and bringing the character in. I'm absolutely blown away. I will 100% check this out. I am keeping my eye on it and looking forward to it. It's definitely up there with the games that were released. I think this one definitely requires your attention. All right, I'm going to bring up two games now, and those two games are Guardians of the Galaxy and Halo Infinite. Now, these two games did not really do it for me. I mean, one of them with Guardians of the Galaxy, it looks a lot more comic book. It looks a lot more true to that story as opposed to the movie. Again, video games that are based on movies or comic books, things like that, usually don't really turn the dial for me. But I saw it and I just kind of wanted to comment on it because it's starting to look a lot like, with Disney and they're getting into this video game world, and obviously with Pandora and also Guardians of the Galaxy and the Sea of Thieves with the pirates, and obviously Jack Sparrow now is going to show up in Sea of Thieves. I don't know. It feels a bit much. I just wanted to comment on this one because, I don't know, it feels forced. I mean, I'll keep an eye on it, but I don't know. The other one, Halo Infinite, I liked Halo. I liked Halo 3. I'm not really an online guy. So again, this one where it's like, everybody can play online from computer, Xbox, all that stuff. You can all play in the same place. I was initially intrigued, but really at the end of the day, I could care less about some of this. It might be because maybe I'm not all that good at a lot of these multiplayer online based war games. And that entirely could be the case. But I don't know. I want story. I want something that I can grab a hold of and play through. But to have this online thing, I don't know. Again, these two things, they were probably the lowest points for me in the whole E3 thing. But hey, you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, my number one game, the one that I was most stoked to hear about, is Starfield. Mostly because they said, basically, it's Skyrim, but for space. You had me at hello. Oh my goodness, yes. I mean, these are the kind of games that I really enjoy. If you're watching any of the stuff that I'm doing with Subnautica, I kind of like to play by myself sometimes. Now, I play Grounded with friends of mine. I also play Vault 76 with friends of mine, and I really enjoy that stuff. But every now and then, I feel like you just need a game to just kind of check out, if you will, from the rest of the world and just be you. This is my jam. This is the kind of game that I'm looking for. I mean, the fact that it's been in production, I guess, now for 25 years, or at least talked about for that long. I expect big things, and that's where my worry comes from, especially when we talk about games and hype and everything, where we're expecting, the moon, and we get not the moon. So we'll see. I am cautiously optimistic because I love Skyrim and even the Fallout series. So again, I'm expecting big things. I'm hoping for big things. Maybe it'll force me then to upgrade my system as well, but I'm really looking forward to this. I am going to try and not keep too much of an eye on it because I feel like, things can get ruined for you. So I want to be as fresh as I can going into this game, but I'm super stoked for it. And it was my number one. Again, for all of this stuff, you guys let me know in the comments below what you think. let's get into discussion about it. Let's talk about it. For my honorable mentions, the ones that I just want to talk about quickly, Grounded, the fact that they are now releasing a boss with the new update. There's some cool stuff that you can do. I am on board. I am stoked. Told my friends we're definitely going to play it. Probably going to try and do a bit of a series on it as well. Maybe 1 or 2 games playing with all of them, because they said they're okay with it. Hopefully they still are. We'll see. And then the other one too, Metroid, a nice little ode to the old school. I'm intrigued about it, but I wasn't a huge Metroid guy, so we'll see. We'll see about that going forward. All right, guys, that's it from me today. And remember, my name is Nick, the Nerdy Jock Angle. Thanks so much for checking us out. Do me a favor before you go. Smack that like button. High elbow that subscribe button. Just helping me out. We're growing the channel, baby. But always remember, guys, whenever you're out in life, it's always game time, baby. Let's go!